Greetings to everyone, it's Stanislav Metkov, the CEO of HookahBattle, and right now we are good guests of Orion Tobacco Manufacturing, which is located near Gorztan city, which is like 1 hour drive into Warsaw, I guess. And let me introduce you Jerzy Czernek, the CEO of Orion Tobacco Factory. And today I would like to discuss with Jerzy some different issues regarding manufacturing of tobacco in Poland and some other questions as well. Hi Jerzy, let me ask you first question. What can you tell about Orion Tobacco Factory? What is the history of this place?
Hello to everyone. Hello Stanislav. First of all, it's a big pleasure to be with you, to have the ability to share some thoughts and experiences of our business. Orion Tobacco is a company which is in the tobacco market for more than 20 years. However, our start was not really with hookah business. We started as a manufacturer and distributor of fine cut tobacco, filter tubes, some accessories, and also later on cigarettes. With hookah, we began our experience not more than 10 years ago.
I guess in 2015 maybe or something.
Around 2015, yes. And that was maybe a little bit earlier. That was in the beginning. We started just to manufacture private label brands for German market. And step by step, when we were gaining more and more experience, we decided to launch our own brand. First of all in Spain and later on in different countries. And I think right now Taboo, which is the brand we are talking about, is present in almost 20 countries. Mostly in European Union, but we also sell Taboo in other countries outside of EU, outside of the European continent as well.
That sounds really good. Can you please tell me, what do you think about Poland hookah market?
Poland hookah market is one of the most challenging markets in Europe. When we talk about hookah, we have different subjects. One subject is the hookah background, so some history of the market, whether there is a tradition or there is no tradition, or whether the people in a specific country are open-minded for smoking hookah. And then comes another aspect, which is taxation, and then the benefits that can go to people who deal with this business. So when we talk about Poland, we have to keep in mind that Poland is not a traditional hookah market.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know how it looks like hookah market in Russia or Ukraine and maybe in some other Eastern European countries, and hookah became so popular in the recent 10 years. So,
but I also think that Poland is less open-minded. Let me explain you what I have in mind.
Okay.
Russia is maybe you cannot compare it to countries which are called melting pot, like the United States of America. But still, Russia is a mixture of different nations. different cultures, different religions. It's not a monolith. And Poland is more a monolith, so we are, as a country, we are like more than 90% Catholics, at least when you speak about the declaration of who declares which religion. We are also more than, I think, 95% Polish. Right now it's changing. Right now we have more and more immigration, especially from Ukraine. But not only, we also have some immigration from of the Turkish people, of different religions, of different cultures. But until recently, our country was really a monolith, so the influence of different cultures was not so easy to implement.
All right, I got your point.
So this is what I mean. And in many cases, when you speak about hookah with some people, they see it as, let's say, anti-Christian. They see it as something connected to drugs, although it's not. And for that reason, it's not easy to implement in many places. Besides, Polish people are very much focused either on their jobs or on the homes, so they don't really spend so much time, or they don't have the not only financial ability, but also they don't have this culture of staying too much outside their homes. They don't go so much to restaurants, to bars, and also the hookah lounges, and etc. This, of course, differs from place to place. It will be different in very big cities. But I think that even in Russia, although we have some similarities in our history, people were always more open to go out to restaurants and bars than in Poland. So,
Okay.
so this is also the reason. And of course, what is very, very important, taxation. The taxation in Poland is very unfavorable for hookah, which means that not only the product is quite expensive, because 50 grams you pay around 32, 35 up to 40 zloty, which is around 8 euros, which is quite expensive. And with this price, the retailer makes not more than 10% of the margin. So if you connect these two things, the retailers will not promote this product, because if they sell whatever chewing gums, they make much more money. So it will stay in the specialized shops only.
Okay, I got it. Well, since we understand specifics of Poland tobacco market, can you please tell me why taboo became so successfully exactly in Spain? Why Spain? Why not other countries? So do you see some specific reasons?
Well, yes, we entered the Spanish market in the very right moment. So Spain is the market where, first of all, taxation is quite favorable for the hookah market.
Which year it was, by the way, for Spain, when you have entered Spain?
I think it was around 2017. But okay, when years pass, you don't really remember when it was exactly, but it must have been like 5 years from now. So yes, in Spain the price of 50 grams is somewhere between 3 to 4 euros, which is half comparing to what you pay in Poland. And still Spain has slightly higher purchasing power than, I mean, the people in Spain have slightly higher purchasing power than the Polish people. So not only that it's half price, but for the people it's still, it's like 30% of what you pay in Poland.
Okay, so
Plus the margin is comparable because the margins, the trade margins are regulated in Spain by the law. However, in that country, there are licenses for selling tobacco products. So the tobacco shops have much bigger volume of sales. So when the product becomes popular and is selling, although the margin is low due to the volume, they have some good benefits.
Alright.
Then comes let's say the culture of smoking hookah. In fact, Spain did not have the culture of smoking hookah. It only started around the time when we came with taboo. In general, the popularity emerged from the southern part of Spain, namely from Sevilla, which is in Andalusia. That part of Spain is somehow influenced by the Moorish people, but the culture of smoking hookah easily spread out among the youngsters, among the people of 18, 20, 25, and having in mind that Spain is the place where people spend a lot of time outside, where they go out a lot, it was quite easy for hookah to become popular.
Moreover, I think Spain is like a sea tourism more, like in Turkey, and people like to enjoy hookah with the sea tourism as well. So it is just my concept, maybe. So many people go for tourism to spend time on the beaches, and usually there are many, hookah catering companies who offer to smoke hookah on the beach and so on.
Yes and no, because the popularity of hookah is not so much connected with the tourism. It's connected with the with relatively young generation of the Spanish people who smoke it daily. So we are talking about, for example, students, and it really started in the south of Spain, and still the biggest popularity of hookah in Spain is Sevilla. By the way, this is the place where the famous Shisha Mesa is organized, and this is for some reason. I think that maybe less than half, but not a long time ago, half of the consumption of hookah in Spain was in Sevilla.
Okay.
The second place was Madrid. Now it's going across the coast, also Valencia, Alicante, Barcelona are popular places for shisha. So a little bit like you say, the closer to the sea, the better, But we have to keep in mind that Sevilla is not on the coast. It's a little bit inland, but the warmer the better. In the north of Spain, you hardly ever see people smoking hookah.
Alright. So you produce hookah tobacco for other brands as well,
Yes.
which we call contract manufacturing, right? So how many clients you have at the moment? Like just a number.
Let's say that from the very beginning until now, we have been manufacturing like 8 different brands, but 4 of these brands, so like half of these brands, have been successful and are continuing.
Alright. So let's just imagine there are some different tobacco manufacturers in different countries. So okay, one in Poland, one in Russia, one in Turkey. And do you believe that the specific location may give some competitive advantage for the people who are looking for some factory for contract manufacturing? So like, okay, I want to manufacture my hookah tobacco, and I can go to factory in Poland, or I can go to German factory or to Turkish or any kind. So what is competitive advantage of Poland manufacturing? What do you think?
Okay, comparing to Turkey, for example, we are located inside the European Union.
Okay.
That gives us the advantage of not
Pass, I
let's say
guess,
not
European
going through the borders, not paying import duties. Of course, there are some countries outside of EU which have the exemption of paying the import duties. But then they have more difficulties because they are not so familiar with the European regulations. And the regulations in Europe, since we started, are becoming more and more difficult to follow. First of all, you have to register the ingredients, and not.
In each country, or
No, you do
it
it.
works only for all European Union?
Well, you do it through one platform, but then this registration, the registration itself is done by each country separately. So you have one European platform, but at the end you might have to deal with each single country separately. Sometimes it's more difficult, sometimes it's less. Sometimes you have to pay some money for the registration. In some countries, like in Germany, Austria, and now Latvia, many ingredients are just forbidden, and you should follow it. You also should be able to work with suppliers of the ingredients, which will assist you with the data that you need for the registration. Because unfortunately you have to make a disclosure of the ingredients that you use. And this data you should normally receive from the manufacturer of your aromas.
Oh, okay. And you are European manufacturer?
And in Europe, the manufacturers understand it. But if you deal with some manufacturer of the ingredients that will say, sorry, this is my factory secret, I don't tell you, then you are in a big problem, because you don't have the data that you have to bring to the European authorities. So this is one of the difficulties. The second is, of course, the taxation. And and also the knowledge of what kind of health warnings to use, how to use the health warnings. These are some details that of course you can learn, but if you deal with it daily, it's always easier for you. The next thing which comes is track and trace, which is already part of the European regulation for cigarettes and roll your own. However, it will come in 2024 also for hookah products. So this is the problem, for example, which is already in Russia. I think that for non-Russian companies to deal with
it became much more
track and trace is not so easy.
Yeah.
So you have to make some investments. You have to know how to implement the system, and I think that the European system has been made difficult.
So your contract manufacturing customers can get these benefits, which
Yes, of course.
all right. Well, I got one more question to you. What do you think about current situation of Russia and Ukraine, and in the context of hookah business?
Well, I think it's first of all very sad what happened. As one of the Slavic countries, we see that it's horrible that one country is attacking the other country for whatever reason, and this should never happen in the history, especially in the 21st century. It's what we see is really unthinkable. And when we talk about the hookah business, how it can change the hookah business, we. First of all, we have to think about the fact that Ukrainians smoked with a big pleasure the Russian heavy tobacco. And now, first of all, it's less available. Secondly, there is a feeling of not using anything which comes from Russia.
Yeah, some shops in
sometimes
Germany
it's a little bit nonsense because we still use the oil and gas which comes from Russia.
Okay.
But in general, what we believe and what we think is that whatever we buy Russian, we support Putin, we support the war, and we don't want to do it. So
what do you think about it?
In one way, it makes sense because if Russia has enough money to pay for the war, it will. Normally, the wars stop when the money is finished. Of course, the money which comes from hookah business is is probably not enough to pay for one tank or airplane. But still, what is in our heads is that we don't want to support the war in any sense. That means whatever is Russian, even if it's 1 penny, better if it doesn't come to the Russian state. And we know that every product which comes to us and is produced in Russia somehow supports the Russian state. So this is what is in our heads. Of course, in our heads, the first point is the war should be stopped. The war should be stopped. and that's it.
All right. So, would you like to share any of your future plans regarding hookah business and your products?
Yes, what we produce right now is hookah tobacco based on Virginia, which is the main European trend, and this is the trend which love our customers in Spain. And frankly speaking, when we talk about taboo, definitely more than half, although we are in like 20 countries, more than half of our sales is in Spain. So we always follow the trends of Spain. Sometimes we try to see what's happening in other countries, but still the big importance for us are the trends of Spain. However, what we see right now, the big inflow of people from Ukraine, just to imagine that more than 5 million Ukrainians crossed the Polish border since the beginning of the war, plus the other 2, maybe 3, which were here before the war. Of course, not all of these 5 millions remain in Poland, that we also have to keep in mind that there is always a little bit of propaganda behind it, because I think that from these 5 millions, a lot just came back to their country, because there are many places in Ukraine which are still safe, and when people start understanding that okay, they can go back to Lviv, they can go back to, especially to the villages without big risk, they do it because they have their farms, their fields, so they don't want to give it up. But also a lot of these people just spread out around Europe. But still, I think that we have more than 4 million Ukrainian people living
Okay,
here.
so it's actually, let's say, a big amount of people.
Yes, it's
And
a big,
now
it's a
they
big
are
community.
in Poland, right? And of course, there are like, let's say, 20% of them are hookah lovers as well.
Yes.
Like, do you have some statistics?
And even if you
Yeah.
you had the chance to be a little bit in Poland, and you see that the biggest influence of hookah we have is from Ukraine. Okay, you will have some lounges which are of Turkish origin, maybe a little bit Arab origin, but not so much.
So now you have new requests from local hookah market, your own hookah market, like
Yes.
from Poland.
Yeah, we see that there is more and more demand for the black leaf tobacco. I think that the same trend will be present in other countries, including Spain, because the number of Ukrainians which ended up in Spain is also quite high. I think that the same happened in Germany. So yes, I think that the black leaf tobacco will gain popularity, and this trend we want to follow.
All right.
So we are preparing the new line of tobacco. We are still not 100% sure if it will be taboo or not taboo.